Well, we've come to the end of season 2. Thank you guys for joining us throughout the past 20 episodes or so. And putting the video together somehow helps me to relive the trip. And so we were sad when the trip was over and we came home. And I'm sad again now that the videos are coming to an end. But thank you for joining us and being on board. And the only thing left is to take them on the long journey home. This whole trip, I knew, I was much more aware of how many miles we were from home, because you know, this is a trip that we went from South Carolina all the way up to Montana. And every time, by the time we hit Montana, I knew every mile further from the house was a mile I really didn't want to drive.
True.
So here we were in South Dakota, and we knew we had a grind to get back home. So you try to break up the grind as much as you can, but frankly, there's not much between. Now we're going to get some viewers that have different opinions. We know you Iowa people love Iowa, and you Indiana people love. We get it, but there's not a lot to see. I mean,
no.
All right.
Good.
All right. So.
Sorry, potato farmers.
So Mitchell, South Dakota was our first little stop that we can make. And do y'all remember what we saw in Mitchell?
No.
Corn
Palace.
The Corn Palace.
Corn Palace. Real corny.
And
its name.
The Corn Palace was corny. You know, it was worth a 5-minute stop, right?
Yeah. No.
I thought it was cool.
Now, we're going to upset Mom here, but we never have 5-minute stops with Mom. If we stop somewhere, she's got to see every nook and cranny.
Well, I'm not going to ever be there again.
A 5-minute thing.
We were there twice.
At the Corn Palace? Twice?
No.
No.
5-minute thing took 3 hours.
It felt like twice. What can we say? It's got corn all over a building.
You had to wait till the lights came on.
And inside the building, for those of y'all that don't know, well, it was like a flea market or something. It's like a gift shop.
Yeah.
A big gift shop. That's
like a big gift shop inside the...
It's a tourist trap.
We saw a sign for the... am I saying it right? Herbert Hoover. Is that right?
Herbert Hoover, yeah.
Herbert Hoover Presidential Library, and it's right there on the interstate. And so we stopped, and that was actually
interesting.
Yeah, it was interesting. We stayed quite a while there. The boys were able to get another badge and learn about Herbert Hoover. So what's something you learned about Herbert Hoover?
That he has a library named after him.
So he moved all of the buildings that he grew up in there, and
yeah, so his birth house, his death house.
Yeah,
it was the death house and the birth house and the blacksmith shop, and there were some neat things to look at there. And of course, I thought it was kind of unique and neat how they positioned the birth house so that it faced directly at his burial plot, which is, you know, several thousand feet across the property.
I,
Let's say your name. As a junior ranger,
as a junior ranger,
I promise
I promise
to protect,
to protect,
preserve,
preserve,
and teach others about
and teach others about
Herbert Hoover
Herbert Hoover
National Historic Site.
National Historic Site.
Congratulations, you guys are now both junior rangers.
Thank you.
I'm going to get you your official badges here.
Looks like we're the only family in here.
For any of you that follow us and also travel with an RV or a travel trailer, I don't know if you're like me, but they kid me about watching the miles per gallon meter the entire trip. So 1/10 difference here or there, and I'm freaking out. But
That's
I'm understating it, I guess.
very understating.
Yeah, well, you know, the road gets boring. It gives you something to look at.
I need to put paper over it.
Yeah, it would help. My stress would go down. So crossing the Midwest states, the winds were so ridiculous
Yeah.
that we
Yes,
had
they
the
were.
lowest MPGs we've ever had, for a sustained period. I think we had 7.8 miles per gallon is what we were getting across for at least 2 days worth of that drive. And it was driving me crazy. When we stopped to get hamburgers for lunch, we cut them in half and split hamburgers to make up the difference. And
What? Where
What
did
are
we
you
eat?
talking
Like,
about?
did we eat at a Burger?
A Burger?
Burger King?
no, I'm making a joke. We didn't split burgers here, but we have been known to split burgers before.
We have.
Yeah.
But not this time.
Not this time. So when we're doing these long drives and trying to make time, we'll often stop at Walmarts and Costco's and whatnot. And tonight we stopped at a Costco, and I forget where it was exactly, but it was very unique.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Had a parking garage.
Like the entire Costco was in a parking garage, and
Oh,
the
it's
parking
actually
garage
nuts.
went right up to the store.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't that the majestic?
I mean, it fit the
Costco
camper
of
in
wonders.
there. We were able to fit the camper in there.
Yeah, I mean, we went right in with the camper into the parking garage. It was a pretty cool spot. So we spent the night there.
What's going on? I can't see it. What is happening?
Oh, and make a stupider face, like
Problem. So Owen, try the slide, but Mama, stand up.
Yep. I'm trying. Get my foot in there.
Is that that was the night that solicitor, for lack of a better word, came up to the camper? Remember that guy
Yeah.
that came up to the camper and he was a little
We were
shady?
a little concerned.
We've only had one time out of maybe 40 or 50 that we felt like leaving from one of these overnighters at a Walmart, and but that's not true. There's actually been 2 nights where we felt like we should leave. This guy came right up to the camper and comes right up to the door. So I met him at the door. I could see him coming, and I was sort of aggressive about telling him to back up and keep his distance, and he walked away and didn't push the issue, but he did go over to several of the other motorhomes that were staying the night,
It
and
was just suspicious.
yeah, so we got a chance to talk to the couple in the other motorhome, and they were everybody had their eyes open for a while after that, but turned out nothing ended up happening.
And I think me and Ethan were sleeping during this moment.
Yeah, I think
Probably so. Yeah. You guys don't worry about our security all that much.
Not really.
Yeah. So does anybody remember Kickapoo State Park in Indiana?
No.
Kickapoo.
I
I
don't-
guess they have unique names in Indiana.
Yeah.
I don't remember it either, but it's got a neat name, Kickapoo. But I think we just stopped and slept the night and then left, so
Yeah.
we didn't get. Oh, that was the state park that
It was
had
a
a.
nice one though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was pretty nice. It looked like it had a lot of fishing opportunities, like tons of lakes and stuff.
We are arriving at our final destination, the Creation Museum.
That's all you got?
Yeah. You go.
Oh, I take it from
Yeah,
here.
you take it from there.
I take it from here.
You-
Yeah, the Creation Museum in Cincinnati was going to be our big break or our big stop on the drive home.
Yeah.
And so we got into Cincinnati. We found a campground like right up against the interstate. We were lucky to get one site. It was a little expensive, but I remember that.
Yeah, it was.
But
It was hard to
Always
find
remember
it,
prices.
We had trouble finding
oh,
it.
we had trouble finding it. We went round and round through the city. The next morning, we hooked up and took off, and just a few miles from there was the Creation Museum, which is Ken Ham's sort of...
Answers in Genesis.
What did we think?
Actually,
was
pretty,
cool.
it was cool.
So the museum itself is pretty impressive. It's definitely not a B-class museum. It was kind of grade A all the way,
Yeah.
which was different than I expected. I don't know why. It had a lot to see. It's a full day's worth of information to take in. But what I wish we had had time for, and we sat in on one, they have guest speakers and seminars going on all the time. We got to sit in on a geneticist.
This is Ethan Ragu reporting from Creation Museum, Legacy Hall.
So the geneticist was basically speaking on ways that genetic science supports biblical beliefs. They have these seminars going on all day, different seminars, and so you could really easily spend a weekend there
Yeah.
and have plenty to see and do.
Because they had like the museum part, a dinosaur, then they had dinosaur exhibits, they had biblical exhibit.
The Garden of
exhibits.
Eden.
They had a garden out there. They had a petting zoo, they had
History of dragons.
dragons.
If that's why our country was formed, then anything that our government does, like our schools,
Why does he believe in the word of his God? He's been working on this for 4 years and doesn't drop water. He's a religious fanatic, I know.
Years ago, God spoke to my grandson, Noah.
God was the one who told them to believe. It was an amazing sight to behold.
It looks like he's in your ear. Oh, he's about to get you, Owen.
From there, we had 6 or 7 hours to drive back home. There's two sides to these trips. One, you're excited to be gone and go on them, but you're also equally excited to see home again. And so I think seeing the house and sleeping in our own beds again and having a full kitchen and faucets that run water for as long as you want. It's that's one of the best parts of these trips.
That first shower is priceless.
So season 2 ended up being some 7,000 miles of driving, and we're happy to have you along for all of them. Thanks for supporting the channel. Please hit the subscribe button, the like button. I hear people talk about a bell. Try the bell, and yeah, we've got more coming to you. Like, what was the trip after that?
Like
Hawaii.
Oh.
Hawaii. No, we already did Hawaii.
I don't know if Hawaii's suitable for the channel.
Well,
It's not an RV trip, but
Yeah.
let us know
The
if you
beaches?
want to hear about Hawaii. No, the next trip would be the Southwest a second time. So, and we went really, really south. So stay tuned. In a couple of weeks, we're going to be leaving for yet another season. We're not going to tell you where this one's going to be. You're going to have to wait for that.
See you next time on Rollin' Ragu.
Do it. Do it.
Is that what you want me to do? Okay.